Hello friends and welcome back to my channel, and in today's video what I'm going to be talking about is the farmers protest. And I'm sorry about not introducing about the long gap that there was in the videos that happened in between. So I'm sorry about that. I'll try to keep the videos consistent after this, and consistency is one thing which is very tough to attain, I must say, and now I'm experiencing that with YouTube. So in this video, as I said, I'll be talking about farmers protest. Also, what I'll try to do is keep this very unbiased, which is quite tough, I must say. But still, I'll try that. There will be no political affiliations, I must say. I will share a little bit of political excerpts at the end. I'll try to not be biased, and let's keep it out of political affiliations. I'll just keep away the I won't say fact. I'll keep away my own analysis. You are very welcome to have differences with it. And if you have any views about the protest or anything that's ongoing around the farmers' protest or the acts, please share your views in the comment section. So, okay, that's it. Let's begin. So, if we consider the farmers' population in India, it's almost 50 to 60%. Like, if we see the primary sector of India, the one on which economy runs, so almost 50 to 60% of people, their basic occupation is agriculture. And what we consider, like, let's consider the remaining 40. So, almost a very huge chunk of the people from the same also are dependent on the primary sector, that is agriculture. So if you consider agriculture is a major economy booster in our country, so definitely it needs reforms. And what sort of reforms that we can't be really sure of, because there's always double sides of any coin. Like any coin will be having two sides, and that's very sure of. We can't be very sure of anything. Like there's nothing that can be totally perfect. You know that, I know that, we all know that. So that is one thing. And as I said, the secondary sector, that is the sectors which are also dependent on agriculture as well. So the reformation is definitely necessary in agriculture and a lot of sectors in India. But agriculture is what we are talking right now. So let's keep it to that. So the Modi government said that by 2022, they will double the incomes of farmers. Now, that might be a really hypothetical statement to give, but still, that is very possible. But till 2022, in the scenario we are right now, it is definitely very tough to achieve. But still, let's consider that happen by good hopes. If that happens, that's good for us, that's good for farmers, and that's good for the entire nation, I must say. So, not naming any political party here, but for an irony, like irony would shut himself for like 32 times for the same thing. But if anything like this, I must say, or I will not like put in any political party here, but the same acts, the same provisions, and this same bill was like this same demands for, or rather, I'll say a manifesto of one political party, a national party in India had the same manifesto that this will be, these bills and these provisions will be what they will be bringing in country or for the farmers. And the same people are now in the protests. Now, this is how a democratic nation works. That's how the opposition works every time. This is the same with any political party. And this is what it happens in a democratic nation. Now, that is really something that shouldn't happen, but still, let's accept the hypocrisy and move on. And now let's consider about what APMCs are. Like as I in the last video, I'll tag the same videos at the end. But in last videos, I talked about APMCs. So how APMCs work? There's an APMC that's a government market, rather. Like let's keep it to simple terms. APMC is a government market. Let's consider that. And then there is Artiyas, like the one who we in English call as middlemen. So the farmer goes to middlemen, not directly to the merchants who sell the farm products. So what happens? The farmer go to Artiyas, and the Artiyas goes to the merchants, like the ones who are procuring it in wholesale. So what the government is trying to do via this is remove the Artiyas. So that's what a lot of media is saying, that this protest is majorly about the Artiyas. So we can certainly see that it's not just about them, because there can't be so much of Artiyas. There will be a lot of people, definitely. There's something that has to farmers as well. Now there can be as also, like we can anyway see that there might be some misleading to the farmers, but we can also not deny the possibility that this bill might be definitely harmful for them. So there can be both sides of any coin, like I said earlier. So what the government tries to do, the government tries to provide freedom to the farmers, like they are trying to remove this middleman. So that's why the blame is put on middleman. That this is the protest. These protests are their cause. So that is what government is trying to do. And by this, government is trying to support the theory of one nation, one market. Like, why should be the government market different and private market be different? So what government is trying to do is provide freedom to the farmers. So that is one thing. And why the protests are being seen very majorly in Punjab and Haryana. Like the people all over the nation are saying that this is very majorly seen in Punjab and Haryana, why the other farmers don't have problem. The thing is, Punjab and Haryana APMC markets are very successful since APMC has been implemented. So because of that, the protesters in Punjab and Haryana are very like on the front, and that's what we are seeing as well. So that is one thing. And also an angle of historical public relation, like when it comes to APMCs are giving a freedom, like let's consider both. So if there's APMCs, they are running from around a lot of years, so people have set up the public relations with the middleman. So that will be distorted if they have to shift from the APMCs to private market. Then the middleman will change and everything will change, and there's a lot of shift that will happen, and people always resist change, deny it or accept it. But that is one thing about any people, it maybe it you, me, or anyone, people will always resist change anyways. So that is one thing. And also in other states, why APMCs are failing is the corruption. Like the middleman, and like corruption has a staggered growth of every sector in the country. But still, what happens in APMCs, like for giving an example, the farmer will produce something, and he'll go to the merchant or the APMC. So the APMCs will produce a lot of reasons because of which they'll say that your product can't be bought. So what the farmers will have option to go to middlemen. So the farmers will go to the middleman, and what middleman will do, he will not buy the product on MSP, that is the minimum price that will be allotted by the government. So what that will be one thing happening. So this is what the farmers will have to suffer from. So the middleman will try to give them like a little bit of less amount of the MSP, and then the farmers will have to sell it at anyways. Like rather than keeping it home rotting, they'll like leave it at some lesser amount of price. Then the middleman will go back to APMC and sell it, like they have ties up already, and then he'll sell it back therein, and he'll earn the price at the MSP. So there will be around at least 2% of commission, whatever the commission be. So that's how the corruption works in APMCs and other states, and that's why the APMCs are failing, rather producing less income in other states as well. So the APMCs are not successful in other states as Punjab and Haryana. This does not anywhere mean Punjab and Haryana did not have corruption. This is just an example to give. So, and there's also one other thing that comes in, like farmers are saying, if you are providing tax-free markets to the private players, why is it not same with the APMCs? Like APMCs have tax. When you procure your goods and you try to sell it in the APMCs, then you have to pay a certain amount of tax. Then the farmer says you have to either make the APMCs tax-free or imply taxes on the private markets as well. So that is one demand as well. So, and now the thing is with like the farmers are misled, or I don't know what this is, but this is definitely something that is a concern for me as a layman as well. Like the things, how the private players work, they will be putting attractions at the beginning. This happens in any private company, let me add. So they'll putting attractive bids at the very beginning when they'll open their markets, and the APMCs will be slowly ignored, and at later when there will be a time when APMCs will have to be literally shut down because of less demand of APMCs. And then is when the private players will have totally monopoly, and monopoly in any market is really dangerous. So that is one fear in the like farmers and or a lot of people who are protesting therein. So that is one thing. And let me clear the very, like, let's burst the balloon about MSP. So MSP is procured for around 23, MSP is given for around 23 crops, of which only 2 crops is like, of 2 crops on which the farmers can get the whatever MSP it is. And only 66% of the farmers in the nation get whatever the MSP is, and the 2 crops are wheat and rice. So that was it about the first thing. And in the second part, I'll talk about another aspect about the same, that is the dispute settlement and certain demands. And let's also talk about what government is giving to the farmers in behalf of the same. So that was about it. Like, share, and subscribe the video. And in next part, I'll be talking about the dispute settlement, what the farmers are demanding on the same thing. And also, I'll be talking a little bit about at the end what the farmers expect and what the government is trying to give to them. Thank you. See you in the next video.